guys, welcome back to Electrica, and I'm glad that you're watching. Okay, now probably you've heard about high and low in float switches, okay? And today I just want to show you how you can use two float switches in controlling your pump. And doing this, we try to prevent our pump from sucking air, because the pump tends to suck air in most cases, okay? Especially if you have two tanks, one is overhead and there is one underground. So you have one tank on the ground that feeds the tank overhead, and then the overhead tank is what supplies water inside your installation by gravity, okay? So you have one pump and you have two float switch. Now, one float switch is gonna be in your higher tank, and then you will have one float switch in the lower tank. Now, the float switch in the lower tank, as I said, it will help you to prevent your pump from sucking air. Without it, the pump will pump all the water into the tank in the overhead, and it will never stop until that tank is full, okay? But if you have this, should it happen that the pump is trying to pump all the water from the tank, then that pump will be switched off. So you're gonna set a threshold, a certain threshold on the lower tank, such that every time that tank reaches that threshold level you set, the pump will be switched off by this, okay? So as long as the lower tank has water, this float switch will always be in on position, okay? And it's only this one that will always play off and on depending on the higher tank, its demand, okay? So let's go ahead and wire it. So now, of course, you're gonna need a contactor, one contactor like this one, of course, even if you don't have auxiliary. And when you're using this, you can decide if you need it with a push button or you need it with a float switch only. So we're just using a float switch only. Let's say it's what you want, okay? And I'm gonna show you one thing with this multimeter. Now, this float switch has got two wires, three wires in here, okay? One wire being common, and then these two wires serves in two different positions. Now, this float switch has two positions in its operation. This float switch can be in this position on, or at the same time it can be in this position off. Also, it can be in this position on, at the same time it can be in this position off, okay? So that's what we're going to use it. Now, when we are connecting it, they are just going to be opposing each other, okay? Now, for our circuit to close, we'll need this float switch to be in this position. So the other one will be like this, okay? So here our circuit will be closed completely. So this float switch will be like this, and it will be closed in a higher tank, and this one will be like this, closed in the lower tank, okay? We need it like this because the moment the water in the lower tank goes down at a certain threshold, then it will go like this, and it will switch off our circuit to prevent the tank from sucking air. And this one, it will be like this in on position, such that the pump can fill the tank. But the moment the tank is full, it will go back like this, and it will switch off the pump. So there will be no more waters that get into the tank, okay? All right. Now, to know in which position, you have, of course, to hold your float switch and use a meter in case you don't know. So you have to put your meter in continuity, okay? Now you're gonna put one lead on the common, okay? And you're gonna lift the float switch like this, and then you're gonna try. So you see the blue, meaning that this float switch will be closed in this position if you use common and blue, and it will be open in this position if you use common and brown, Okay, so it's just the same thing with this one. Now, so connecting it, what we are going to do, we are going to eliminate one wire in each. So we're just going to use this step. Now we are just going to eliminate blue here. Okay. And we are just going to eliminate brown here. Okay. So you see, the other side we are using common brown, and this side we are using common blue. Okay. Now we are just going to use this to help us to connect these wires together. Okay. Now, of course, what you have to know is that these float switch, they will work in series. Okay, we're just going to put them in series. So we have got a wire here that we are going to use as our to supply us with power. Okay. So the one thing we are going to do is we are just going to, you get this common and one wire on the other side, then you have to connect them together like this, and then we're just going to use this connector for protection. Okay, and we'll just put it here, this connector. So I just want you to get the concept of how all this works. Now we are remaining with these. We've already connected here, so we need to get our live this side, and then we'll feed it here. So this supply cable of ours, we're just going to use the live, and we connect it here. Okay, and then we also use this connector to help us hold it. Okay. So we are remaining with these two wires, so that means that this will now be the live or the supply of our contactor L1 or contactor A1. Okay, so we have to supply our contactor here. And then this is of course our neutral. So don't worry, this is the neutral. It's just because it's brown. Now here, okay. So essentially, you've seen that our current through here, we get it from here. Then it will come through this float switch, come back here, go through this float switch, and then it energizes this. Okay. So now we're just going to power it up, and then we see what happens. Okay, now let me hold these two float switch right now, and this one here in my left hand, it's now our lower float switch in the lower tank, and then this one in my right hand is our higher float switch, so it's high. And as I'm holding it like this, you see our contactor, it's in off position. So that means that this is in off position. So I'm just going to flip it, and then we see. So you see, now here it means that our pump will be in the running position. So as long as there is water in the lower tank, this float switch in my left hand, it always remain closed. Okay, and then the one in the right position, it remain like this if the pump, or if there is still gap in that tank, and it always go off if the tank is full. Okay, now then you assume that your pump is running here exactly like this, and then eventually maybe your lower tank is not being filled, so the water has reached that threshold that you set, and now this float switch will go like this, and then you see, so the overhead tank or the higher tank is in on position, but because the water levels in the lower tank, they have gone totally down, so the pump has been switched off, and that has saved you from your pump sucking air. And this can really be a very big problem if you have a very bigger tank, very bigger pump. Okay? So, hopefully you've been seeing this and you're wondering what it is. So this is a counterweight. When this thing gets into water, remember it is light, okay? It's less dense. So you have to add this counterweight such that this will force it to be like go into water, but of course it can't because it is less, so it will help you to flip it such that it can go in off position. Okay, all right, so that has been it. So hopefully this has helped you in one way or the other. So thank you very much for watching, and please don't forget to press that subscribe button and the bell notification such that YouTube can notify you every time we upload a new video. Okay, yeah, and don't forget to give me a thumbs up. All right, I'll see you in the next one.